Dear ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when everything feels like it's falling apart. Relationships shatter, plans derail, health declines, dreams seem crushed beneath the weight of disappointment. And in those moments, we start to believe a lie that broken means done. That if something in us is cracked, shattered, or wounded, then our story is over. But I came to tell you today, broken doesn't mean finished. Think about a piece of pottery. When it breaks, it doesn't lose its identity. It might lose its shape, it might look different, but it's still clay, still valuable, still capable of being restored, and not only restored, but rebuilt stronger. Sometimes we're praying for God to remove the pain when in reality, He's using it to reveal purpose. We want to skip the process, but it's the process that produces power. We want the healing, but not the breaking that leads us there. Ladies and gentlemen, don't confuse a chapter with the conclusion. Don't label what God is still writing as done. Just because it hurts right now, scars don't mean weakness, they mean survival. They mean you didn't quit when you could have. They mean there's still breath in your lungs and fire in your purpose. You may feel broken in this moment, but what's broken can be blessed. What's fractured can be filled. What's wounded can be used. Let me remind you, the cross looked like defeat, but it was actually destiny. The tomb looked like an end, but it was a setup for a resurrection. So if your heart is shattered, if your spirit is tired, if your plans are lying in ruins, don't walk away, don't throw in the towel. The story is not over, because broken doesn't mean finished. 10 key points of the speech. Brokenness is not the end, it's often the beginning of something greater. Pain doesn't disqualify you. It positions you for purpose. God often builds power through the process of breaking. Your scars are evidence that you survived, not that you failed. What feels like a conclusion might actually be a divine setup for a comeback. Just because something looks dead doesn't mean it can't be resurrected. Broken pieces can become the foundation for a stronger version of you. You are still valuable, even when life doesn't look the way you imagined. The enemy wants you to quit in the middle, but God is still writing your ending. If you're still breathing, you're not finished, your purpose is still alive, certainly. Here's ***, key point 1 ****. Brokenness is not the end, it's often the beginning of something greater. Expanded in ***, long, detailed form ***, without subtitle or conclusion. In the powerful, emotionally charged *** style, inspired by Stephen Furtick ***. There's a moment in every person's life when the floor seems to fall out beneath them, when the job is lost, when the relationship ends, when the diagnosis hits, when the betrayal cuts so deep that you wonder if you'll ever trust again. And in that moment, it's so tempting to think, this is it, I'm done, I'll never recover from this, but let me challenge that thinking. What if the breakdown is not a signal of the end, but an invitation to a new beginning? Some of the most life-faltering breakthroughs don't come on mountaintops, they come in the valley. They come in the hospital room. They come in the empty silence after someone walked out on you. They come in the sleepless nights when the only prayer you can utter is, God, help me. *C, we've been trained to equate brokenness with uselessness, but that's not how heaven works. In fact, brokenness is often the breeding ground for blessing. There are some things God cannot build until something in us breaks. Because until you've been stripped of your pride, your plans, and your self-reliance, you'll never see what true strength really is. You'll never see grace show up in the wreckage if you're always trying to control the outcome. When a seed breaks open in the ground, we don't call that destruction, we call it growth *. When a bone breaks and heals, it often grows back stronger at the fracture point. When a heart breaks, it expands its capacity for compassion, for love, for understanding others who are hurting too. So maybe, just maybe, that broken part of you is the very place God wants to begin something new. Maybe that failure wasn't the end of your story, but the closing of a chapter that was holding you back. Maybe you had to get to the end of yourself so you could finally meet the beginning of Him. You may be broken, but that doesn't mean you're buried. It means you're planted, and something planted doesn't stay hidden. It rises, it grows, it breaks through the dirt that tried to hold it down. Let this season of brokenness teach you what success never could. Let it develop your faith, let it deepen your hunger, let it purify your motives, let it position you not just for recovery, but for revival because brokenness isn't the end, it's the doorway to something greater. Certainly. Here is key point 2 a pain doesn't disqualify you, it positions you for purpose. Fully expanded in a long, emotionally intense and spiritually reflective style modeled after Stephen Furtick's preaching cadence without naming him. Pain has a way of making you question everything. It whispers lies in the darkness. It tells you that you're too damaged to be used, that because you've been hurt, you're no longer qualified, that if people knew what you've been through, what you've done, or what's been done to you, they would turn away. But listen carefully. Pain doesn't disqualify you, it actually positions you. If pain had the power to cancel purpose, then none of the people God used in history would have made it. Think about it. The very people God chose were the ones who had scars. Moses had a speech problem. David had a past. Elijah had depression. Paul had a thorn. They were not perfect, but they were positioned. It's in the painful seasons that your purpose is tested and revealed. Not on the good days when everything's going your way. No, it's when your prayers go unanswered. It's when you show up even when you feel unseen. It's when you're weeping on the bathroom floor but still believing, God, you're not finished with me yet. Pain pushes you to places comfort never could. It breaks the shell of pride. It burns away the surface level stuff. It exposes what really matters, and in the exposure, in the discomfort, that's where purpose starts to breathe. The enemy wants you to think that pain is a punishment, but many times it's a platform. The tears you cried in silence are turning into fuel for someone else's freedom. That heartbreak you barely survived is becoming a story that will rescue someone who's drowning in the same storm. Your suffering is not wasted. It's a setup. You see, pain gives you perspective. You look at people differently when you've been broken. You don't judge the same way. You listen more. You love deeper. You forgive quicker. Why? Because you've been there. And people who have been through pain, real pain, don't speak from theory. They speak from truth. That's why you can't walk away from your calling just because it hurts. Don't mistake the pain of growth for the pain of failure. Sometimes the very pressure you're trying to pray away is what God is using to push you into your next level. You thought the pain was blocking you, but it's actually building you. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's heavy. But it's also holy, because something is forming in that fire. Strength, character, faith, compassion, power. There are some things God deposits in your spirit that only pain can prepare you to carry. So no pain doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you for something greater than you ever imagined, certainly. Here's key point 3 God often builds power through the process of breaking. Fully expanded in a deep, passionate, soul-stirring tone consistent with Stephen Furtick's delivery style. Without naming him, we don't like the breaking. Let's be honest, none of us pray for it. We want the breakthrough without the break. We want the blessing without the burden. We want power without pressure. But what if I told you that what feels like your breaking point is actually where God is building your strength? Because God doesn't build power the way the world does. The world builds power through platform, through popularity, through pride. But God builds power through process, and that process almost always involves pain. Surrender, crushing. Look at the olive. You don't get oil until it's crushed. You don't get fragrance from incense until it's burned. You don't get wine from grapes until they're pressed. And maybe, just maybe, the pressure you're under right now isn't punishment. It's preparation. Maybe the breaking isn't to destroy you, it's to release something inside of you that could never come out any other way. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet didn't become that way because life was easy. They were broken, they were humbled, they were brought to their knees, but something happened in that low place. They found power not in themselves, but in the God who carried them through it. There are levels of strength, of anointing, of resilience that can only come through the breaking. Through the betrayal, through the night seasons, through the moments when you thought you were going to lose your mind, but God held you together. And when you come out of it, you come out different. Not bitter, but better, not weaker, but wiser, not broken down, but built up in a way no one can take away from you. God doesn't waste a single piece of your pain. Every shattered dream, every tear, soaked pillow, every sleepless night, He's using it all. You may not see it now. You may be standing in the rubble of what used to be, but trust this, there's power being formed in the wreckage. There's glory rising from the dust. God isn't just putting you back the way you were. He's building you into someone you've never been. That's why the breaking feels so deep, because the power that's coming will be greater than anything you've known. Don't despise the breaking, because it's in the breaking. That power is born, absolutely. Here's key point 4 Your scars are evidence that you survived, not that you failed. Powerfully expanded in a deeply emotional and redemptive tone, mirroring Stephen Furtick's raw and real style. Without naming him, we all have scars. Physical scars, emotional scars, spiritual scars. Some are visible, and some are buried so deep that only we and God know they're there. But scars tell a story, and too often we're ashamed of them. We try to cover them up, pretend they're not there, hide the evidence of the battle we went through as if they disqualify us. But can I tell you the truth? Scars are not proof that you failed. They're proof that you made it. A scar means the wound closed. A scar means the bleeding stopped. A scar means the worst is over, and you're still standing. Some of us walk around thinking that our scars make us unworthy. We think, if they knew what I went through, if they knew what I did, if they knew how badly I messed up, they wouldn't respect me. But here's the twist, the thing you think disqualifies you is the very thing God wants to use to qualify you. Because people don't connect to your perfection, they connect to your scars, to your humanity, to the fact that you've walked through hell and came out holding on to hope. You see, scars don't tell the story of defeat, they tell the story of endurance. That addiction didn't take you out, that depression didn't silence your voice, that heartbreak didn't rob you of your ability to love again, that trauma didn't stop your future. You carry the marks of a survivor. And survivors are the ones who have something to say. Even Jesus, when he rose from the grave, didn't hide his scars. He showed them to Thomas, to his disciples. He could have come back with a perfect, polished body, but instead he kept the holes in his hands. Why? Because the scars were proof, not of death, but of victory, not of pain, but of purpose, not of shame, but of salvation. So why are you hiding your scars when the one who saved you is showing his? What if your scars are the very testimony someone else needs to believe they can survive too? What if your pain now healed becomes the map for someone else's breakthrough? Stop letting shame speak louder than survival. Stop letting the enemy tell you that you're broken beyond repair. You're not. You've got the scars to prove it. Scars mean you got back up. Scars mean you didn't quit. Scars mean grace carried you when strength ran out. You're not damaged goods. You're living proof of God's healing power. So walk boldly, scarred and saved, because those scars, they're not signs of failure. They're badges of victory certainly. Here is key point 5 What feels like a conclusion might actually be a divine setup for a comeback. Expanded with powerful depth, emotion, and a bold, redemptive tone in the style inspired by Stephen Furtick, without naming him. There comes a moment in life when everything seems close in on you, the door slams shut, the chapter ends, the lights go out, and you stand there, alone in the silence, thinking, this is it, it's over. Asterisk, you feel like the failure has the final word. You feel like you missed your moment, wasted your chance, lost your purpose. But what if what you see as asterisk, the end asterisk, is actually just a divine pause before the next act begins? Because God doesn't write stories like we do. We put periods where he puts commas. We call something finished, but he calls it asterisk foundation asterisk. And what feels like a conclusion might be the exact moment he starts constructing your comeback. You thought the breakup meant the end of love, but maybe it was the beginning of healing. You thought the loss ended your joy, but maybe it created room for deeper peace. You thought that failure would define you, but maybe it refined you into someone stronger, wiser, bolder. Have you ever watched a movie and thought, asterisk, well, that's it, the hero is done, there's no way out, asterisk, but then the music shifts, the light returns, and the whole scene turns. Suddenly, what looked like defeat becomes the turning point for the greatest victory. That's what your life is like in God's hands. You may be in a scene that feels dark and hopeless right now, but he's the author, and asterisk, the author never leaves the story in the middle. Asterisk, some of the most powerful comebacks are born in the most painful conclusions. You may have lost the job, the dream, the relationship, but don't let the pain fool you. Don't confuse asterisk silence asterisk for asterisk absence asterisk. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean God isn't working. He does his best work in the dark. Seeds grow underground, foundations are poured in trenches, babies are formed in the womb. Resurrection began in a tomb. You might think it's over, but God is just getting started. The comeback doesn't begin when people believe in you. It begins when you believe again. When you decide that the conclusion others wrote for you is not the one you're going to live by. When you dare to hope again. When you choose to rise again, even if it's with tears in your eyes and a limp in your step. And here's the beautiful truth. Your comeback doesn't have to look like your past. It might be smaller. It might be quieter. It might look nothing like what you expected, but it will be stronger. It will be real. It will carry the fingerprints of grace and the fire of everything you've been through. This isn't just a comeback from disappointment, it's a comeback asterisk with asterisk destiny. It's a return not just to life, but to purpose, to faith, to power, to identity. So don't stop in the conclusion, because what you call the ending might be the place God begins asterisk again asterisk.